and participants online. We have our new guest as a resource person here with Dr. Sheila Narware, who has been assistant professor in the Chintamani Mahavidyalaya, Pompurna. She has very wider experience of teaching in English language and literature at UG and PG. Also, she has published number of research papers nationally and internationally, apart from contributing guest lectures at several places. So it has been quite wonderful that she is with us to deliver her speech deliberation on the topic English for competitive examinations. If I'm not wrong, okay. So she's going to talk in terms of competitive exams with us. And in case you will have any queries with regard to her topic or conversation, you may put your comments in the chat box or you may converse with us online with the YouTube. We will put your queries at the end of our presentation and we'll get your queries solved from her. So without spending much time upon introduction and this kind of formalities, I would request Dr. Sheila Nawade ma'am to please comment your session and I welcome you on behalf of the entire organizing team ma'am. Please
Okay.
begin your session.
Thank you, sir. I'm audible. Am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, you're
Thank you.
audible.
It's my great pleasure that postgraduate graduate teaching Department of English, Gondwana University, proffer me to interact with students of Gondwana University. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizing team of postgraduate in teaching Department of English for arranging such a lecture series through which the students have been showering under knowledge by the different resource person from last 1 month. So today I would like to focus upon the importance of English grammar in competitive exams. My dear students, nowadays it is a age of competition. So, and in this age, I would like to focus upon what type of questions may appear for the competitive examination regarding importance of regarding English grammar especially. Sir, is my PPT visible?
Yes,
Hello?
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
please
okay, sir.
continue.
Okay. So I would like to today I would like to focus upon importance of English grammar in competitive examination. My
Just
dear
one
friends,
minute ma'am.
yes,
And, would you please make it full screen?
okay,
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 full screen
okay,
PPT.
okay, sir, no problem. Okay,
Yeah.
hmm.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
hmm.
more convenient now.
Okay, sir. So today my topic is importance of English grammar in competitive examination. This is the age of competition, and after graduation or after post graduation, my students have to face different kind of competitive examination. And when they appear for the examination and they have to face English grammar, they have to solve the different type of problems regarding English grammar. So as we know that English, English is a very important language. Before me, number of resource person has focused upon the topic, so I would not give more focus or spot on this topic because all of us are aware that English is a global language, English is a link language, English is a library language, English is a language of communication, etc. The importance of we can't ignore English in our day-to-day life. So beside that, I would like to say that English is not a subject. Actually, it is a language. Means what do I want to say that like math, if there is a concept, any concept of in mathematics, if we understand it, if we study it, or if we understand the concept, then we try to implement it, or we with the help of that equation we try to solve the problems. But it doesn't happen with English. So it is a language. It needs more time to learn. As before the last day, Aglave sir has focused upon the various stages how to learn English, or how to learn any language. We have to go that fourth step. So it is a language. It is not a subject. Then my dear friends, you have to face different kind of competitive examination. There are so many doors open for you after graduation or post graduation. Here are some examples of different kind of competitive examination where the focus is given on the knowledge of your English grammar. For example, if there are some exams of banking department, IBS clerk, or insurance department, or central defense services, teacher eligibility test, or all India legal entrance test, common entrance test, MBA, MPSC, UPSC, or staff selection commission, NABARD. There are so many. I have selected some examples, but there are so many competitive examination. After graduation, our students appears for that, and at that time they realize that they must have been learned the basic knowledge of grammar from the school level. Actually, the grammar is not started at your graduate level. Already, I'm not going to I'm not going to teach you how the grammar is learned, because all of you are aware about the English grammar. Only I will focus upon the topics, or which topic from the grammar as are focused or important while appearing all these kind of competitive examination. So today we know that the English is the key to the treasure of knowledge. It is considered the global language. There are 350 million people around the world speaking English as their first language, and more than 450 million people speaking it as a second language. It is also a library language which aids the user to read book and understand books of various genres and subjects. It means that English is an internal part of different kind of examination, and about in each and every kind of competitive examination, near about 20 to 30% of marks are allotted from English section. So in English section, we can divide it in three important sections. In competitive exam, the English language incorporates three important sections. So, section number 1, that is grammar, where we are going to focus upon it. Number 2 is verbal aptitude, that is vocabulary, and third one is comprehension. So in detail we are going to discuss about all those three topics. So especially I would like to focus upon grammar. So my dear students, first, grammar includes so many things. So there are there is a list of some topics related to grammar. This is not complete list, but I would like to focus upon I would like to give some examples which type of grammar is included in competitive examination. There is a vocabulary, there is a part of speech, active-wise, passive-wise, reported speech, tenses, sentences, clauses, compression, etc., etc. So if we talk about the vocabulary, so vocabulary, it is not a vocabulary cannot be developed in a one day, or it has been developing since since your childhood. As you are learning English language from the first standard, as for my information, Government of Maharashtra has implemented that from 2001, the English must be compulsory language from the first standard. And if we think about the students of graduation, I think they have been learning English from since 2001, means from last 20 years. Okay, if you are in second year or final or post graduate, you have been learning English from 20 years. Okay, so the your World Bank or your vocabulary must be enriched. Or how we can enrich this vocabulary? We will discuss it later on. So this is the list, some part of list. This is not the whole list. This is the some part of list which the grammar is focused on. What type of questions may asked on what type of part of grammar. So first of all, sentence. So sentence, what we want to express ourselves, or what we want to share our emotions, or what we want to share our thought also, we need to use sentence. And my dear friends, this sentence begins with noun. Okay, So noun may be name of someone, it may be pronoun, it may be gerund. Okay, the sentence can be start with noun, and it noun may be name, pronoun, or gender, or anything. Okay, so sentence, from the sentence, and the structure of this sentence is different from your mother tongue, and it is different in uh, English language. So SVO, it is a structure in English, and SOV, it is in Marathi. So first of all, we have to keep in mind the sentence or structure, basic structure, that is SVO. Subject should be followed by verb. Then you have to learn different kind of nouns. Actually, these kind of nouns, or you can find it detail in any grammar book, but just I have made here a list, because what kind of noun you should understand. You must understand what is the proper noun. You must understand what is mean by common noun. You must understand what is mean by collective noun, what is material noun, what is abstract noun. Because sometimes what happen, if we don't understand the difference between all these kinds of noun, we are unable to solve the questions appeared in the examination. So there are some here are some examples what kind of sentences may appear for the examination. So here is one example, my dear friends. A deer was caught. Some deer were caught. You may find here that here is at one place was is used, and at another place where is used. Means there are some particular nouns where those nouns can be used as a singular with the same spelling, and they can be used as a plural with the same spelling. So spelling cannot be changed for some particular noun, not for the all nouns. So there is another example. Hundreds of people attended the party. So hundreds of people, the words like hundreds or dozen or bundle, hundreds or dozen, these nouns doesn't they act as a singular. Or then at the furniture, some furniture was set in the new house. Some words like furniture or information or expenditure, these kind of words are used as a singular. Some nouns are always used as a singular, like furniture or information or expenditure. So why I have taken all these examples? Because I want to tell you that you must know these keen rules, or these rules regarding nouns. That's why you will be feel easy to solve the questions regarding noun. So you must learn about objective nouns, what are possessive nouns, nominative, vocative, appositive, subject complement, object complement. You must have the knowledge about noun, countable and uncountable nouns also. So this is about sentence and noun. So these are the part you have been learning from your childhood. So I will not give more focus upon this. Just I would like to tell you that pronoun, because as I have started from part of speech, so let's just know about the types of pronoun. So you have to, I will tell you the only kinds of pronoun, and you have to study in detail about this pronoun. You can get this knowledge from anywhere. You can have any kind of book from the market regarding English grammar. So you must know the difference about personal noun, possessive noun, demonstrative noun, descriptive noun, reciprocal, reflective noun, pronoun, relative pronoun, interrogative pronoun, and you must know all the rules about governing case pronoun also. So here is an example. This is the boy dash work hard. So my dear friends, here we can use here relative pronoun. So what must be it? Who. Who is used? This is the boy who work hard. So here you must learn relative pronoun. Okay, so relative pronoun is used, should be used here. Okay, so let's talk about verb. Here is an example. Employees of any organization look forward to a rise in their salaries as the new financial year begins. So, my dear friends, if you are aware about the different kind of forms of verb, kinds of where there are kinds of verb by function also, as you are aware that the main verb, auxiliary verb, causative verb, and in term of object also transitive verb, intransitive verb. In term of limitation also there are finite or non-finite verb. So here there is a mistake in the given example. To arise, I have already underlined it. To arise, there is a mistake, and the question appears in the exam. Find the error or remove the error. Okay, so here proper verb is should be used, that is to. After to, that is verb, there must be a verb one, and the spelling is also wrong. So there raise, R-A-I-S-E, raise must be the verb used instead of to or rise. Okay, so this is about verb, and as I have already told you that you can get the detail from any grammar book, but my dear students, please focus upon, first of all, please understand the concept of main verb, the concept of auxiliary verb, what type of auxiliary verbs are there, what type of models are there, where these models should be used, and where these auxiliary verbs should be used, and what type of auxiliary verb should be used where, or after which subject or noun. Okay, you must be aware about all those type of verbs. Let's talk about adverb. So there are different kind of adverb. First of all, try to understand the concept of adverb. Okay, there are adverb of time, adverb of place, adverb of manner, adverb of degree, adverb of frequency. There are different type of adverbs. So first of all, my dear students, try to understand the concept of adverb and of different types: time, manner, degree, frequency. First of all, understand the concepts. Okay, so it will help you to select the proper answer from the question, given option. Okay, so this speaks so fast, I can't understand. So it will, if you study adverb, what is adverb, mean by adverb, then you will easily understand which topic should be, which answer should be select. Okay, so adjective. Again, adjective, there are many adjectives, or as there are various kinds of adjective, as descriptive adjective, determiners, proper adjective, exclamatory adjective, or participle adjective, etc. Here is one example in front of you. She doesn't know dash of them, or whether we should select here some or any. I leave upon you. You have to select the right answer. If you studied adjective properly, you are able to select the proper answer, the right answer. Okay. And the second example is, a dash quantity of sugar is required to meet the present demands. To get, here the spelling mistake is there, to get, sorry, get the present demand. So what is a proper word, what is a proper adjective to use a dash quantity, a small quantity or little quantity? If you studied the adjective concept, adjective, okay, you are able to select the proper answer. So you must learn about noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective also. So here, my dear student, is a list of conjunction. So first of all, it is my kind request to all the students, when we interact with the students of BA first year in every new session, I begin my lecture with the part of speech. I know that the students of after passing out the 12th exam, they are aware of about part of speech, but I want to revise all those concepts because that is the basic of English grammar. Okay, so I generally start my lecture at the after beginning the new session for class of first year with part of speech. So it is very essential to learn to understand the concept of every part of speech. If you understand what is mean by noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, conjunction, preposition, interaction, then you are able to analyze the sentence. You are able to analyze the sentence. You can easily analyze the sentence. Okay. So here is some list. Now I would not focus more upon it because as the list is in front of you, these are different kind of conjunction used in while joining two sentences or two words. So and, but, because, we use because for giving reason, we use so when the result is shown in the sentence, and if is used in the conditional sentences, then in negative conditional sentence we use unless. If we are using some concept regarding extent of time, we use until. Though also used for the represented exactly two opposite ideas. So intended result, if we show some intended result regarding anything, we use so that, and there is some sudden action, so we use as soon as, okay, or no sooner. We refuse, if we want to refuse something, we use neither or. I have not included all those examples because it would have may have been take more time. Okay, so you must understand the concept of conjunction and where, at what condition all those conjunctions must be used. You must understand this concept. Okay, so preposition. So I think as per the student look at the preposition, they feel that it is a very difficult part because preposition and conjunction, they get confused. Many a times student get confused, and we never see it. I would like to say also that until and unless the students appear for the competitive examination, they don't focus upon part of speech. Let me frankly speaking, they don't focus upon part of speech while learning, be a first year or second year or final or after completing graduation, post graduation also. But when you appear for the competitive exam and you get aware about the importance of this part of speech. So my dear students, preposition of time, preposition of place, preposition of position, here is some list, and you have to keenly study what kind of preposition should be used where. Preposition of time should be used where, or preposition of place, or preposition. Let me give some example. So here you can see that since and for are used. Preposition of time, you can see in the list, first list, preposition of time, since and for. Since and for are the two preposition used, generally used with continuous perfect continuous tense. Perfect continuous tense. Okay. It may be present perfect continuous tense, it may be past perfect continuous tense, it may be future perfect continuous tense. What type of preposition? That is preposition of time, since and for. So these two are all the remaining also used for time, but I want to explain the difference between since and for. Okay, so do you know when should we use since and for in present continuous tense or past continuous past perfect continuous and present perfect continuous? Okay, in present perfect continuous, if you are using since or for, there is a very keen difference. What kind of difference is there? When you are talking about the exact date, when you are talking about the exact year, whenever you are talking about the exact season or anything exactly, then you have to use since. Okay, like that. I have been teaching in Chintamani Mahavidyalaya since 2002. Okay, So I denote that 2002, the session, the year 2002 is definite, it fixed. Okay. So, and if I want to say that I have been teaching in Chintamani Mahavidyalaya for 20 years. Okay. So what is the difference? In the first sentence, since it used to show the year, okay, 2002, okay, and in the next sentence, I have been teaching for 20 years, means duration. So this is the very keen difference while using different kind of preposition, and my dear students, you have to study it. You have to keep in mind the different use of different kind of preposition. So in there are three kind of prepositions are there: preposition of time, preposition of place, and preposition of position. Okay. So let's talk about sentences. There are many different kind of sentences. There are imperative sentences, negative sentences, interrogative sentences, exclamatory sentences, simple sentence, compound sentence, okay, complex sentence, etc. So, imperative sentence. So, if I talk about imperative sentence, any kind of example should be come in your mind. Why? What type of imperative sentences are there? There may be order, okay, there may be request. Those sentences which start from verb, main verb, okay. So what type of imperative sentence, what is mean by imperative sentence, you must understand. If the question appear in the exam, fill in the blanks, okay. So if imperative sentence, it you must understand that it started with the main verb, okay. You must understand this concept. Negative sentences, or negative sentences means, negative means you have to use not. And English, in English, it doesn't happen in Marathi, but in English we have to use do, does, or did while making negative sentences. Okay. So most of the students get very confused while using do, does, did. It's my own experience. Always they get confused. So for that, to understand the use of do, does, did, my dear students, you have to understand what is the difference between using do, does, did. Okay. Then what type then how can we make negative sentences or negative sentences without changing the meaning also? So then interrogative means questions. They may be in yes no question, they may be what type wh questions, okay. That those sentences are called as interrogative sentence. So your concept of interrogative sentences must be clear. What type of sentences are called as interrogative sentence? It must be clear to you. Then exclamatory sentences. So what type of sentences are called as exclamatory sentence? We exclaim, we suddenly exclaim, okay. So how or what, those sentences begin with how or what, okay. So simple sentences, just for example, Joe waited for the train, that is simple statement, it is called as simple sentences. But when it is connected or with another sentence, subordinate sentence, then it is called as compound sentence. As let me tell you one example. First of all, simple sentence, we saw the example that Joe waited for the train. And how will it be the compound sentence? Joe waited for the train, but the train was late. So there are two sentences, and first sentence is Joe waited for the train, and second is the train was late. And these two sentences are connected with the conjunction, that is but. Okay. So when the conjunction is used to join two sentences and other sentence is the subordinate sentence, then it is called as compound sentence. Here is a, let's it is very my dear students, don't get so confused, because it is not so easy to understand in one lecture what is called as simple, compound, or complex sentence. Just me explain the difference between all these kind of sentences. Okay. So the third example of let me give the example of complex sentence. Joe realized that the train was late while he waited at the train station. Okay, so here you will find that there is a conjunction, there is a, and again WH word conjunction is used as while. So there are three sentences. Okay, simple, compound, and another is added there while he waited at the railway station. Okay, the words using while, when, what, these are called as complex sentences. So my dear students, this is my kind request to you. First of all, understand all these concepts of different kind of sentences. Okay, so here is one more concept, that is clauses. Okay, so you will say that what is the difference between sentence and clauses. We have already studied what I have already introduced you what are the sentences and what are the clauses. Now there are three type of clauses. Okay, principal clause, coordinate clause, and subordinate clause. So what do you mean by principal clause? Simple statement is called as simple principal clause. Means we get some we get some information, we understand what the person want to say. That is the principal clause. Means I like chocolate, this is the simple sentence. Okay, and main clause, and if we add in that I like chocolate and I like sweets. Okay, so I like chocolate, this is the main clause or principal clause, and I added it in I like sweets, and I coordinated in, I joined all those sentences with and. Okay, coordinate clause. So this is called as coordinator clause. I like chocolate and I like sweets. And third type is subordinate clause. Okay, those people whose names on the list will go to the camp. Okay, what do you find? Subordinate clauses are subordinate. You must understand the word subordinate. You know the meaning of subordinate, not the main, subordinate. Okay, when the subordinate clause is included, we cannot get the complete meaning. So look at the bold letters whose names are on the list. Can you get the meaning of something from that sentence? No, it is not possible. So subordinate clause, in the main clause, subordinate clause, it depend upon the principal clause. Okay, then you will get the some meaning. So whose the bold letters are subordinate clause. Those people, it gives more information. This subordinate clause gives more information about those people. Those people whose names are on the list will go to the camp. Okay, so this is some this is the glance, this is the journey through grammar. In that we have I tried to focus upon different part of speech also. Okay, and tenses and clauses. I have already focused upon all the kind of part of speech. I have focused upon difference between sentences and clauses. And one more thing I forgot here, that is models. Different type of models. You must know the use of different kind of models also, because which type of model use. Model means what? It is a kind of auxiliary verb. Okay, models are used, semi models we can say, models and semi models we can say. That models means shall, will, can, could, may, might, you know that. Okay, but you know the list of models, but beside that, adding to that, you must know what type of model we used at what place. Okay, suppose for example, or can or could. Okay, let's have the example from can or could. So can or could, it is used for the ability, used for power or capacity, means I can do it. Okay, I can do it. If you are saying that I can do it, I can learn English. Okay, means you are showing your ability. Okay, you are showing your ability. Or suppose we take the example of another model, that is may or might. Okay, may or might. When you enter in the class, what do you ask to your teacher? May I come in? Okay, I'm sure that every student who is listening me ask your teacher, may I come in, sir? There are some students who go first of all the teacher enter in the class, and after that there are some clever students who go in enter in the class after teacher, and they ask for the permission. What do you ask? May I come in, sir? May I come in, ma'am? So it is for the may or might is used for the formal permission or polite. It is also used for the polite request. So like that, may, might, will, would, okay, shall, should, ought to, used to, as used to is used to express the past habit. Suppose you have some past habit, but now you don't do that. You want to tell about that habit. Suppose now the pandemic is going on and everyone is become lazy. It awake, every one of you may be awake from late night and in the don't get up early in the morning. It may happen. It doesn't happen with me, but it may happen with some of my students also. So if you want to say that you you have habit of exercise, okay, in those days, or but you don't, now you don't do exercise, okay, and you want to tell about your that habit, that I used to exercise early in the morning, okay. You are talking about your habit which you do in the past tense. So habit in the routine or a habit, you talk about your past habit, you use you always, you have to use used to. I used to, okay, he used to. Suppose I get time and I have habit of reading at the time of sleep, okay, so I can say that I used to read books at the time of sleep or at night, okay. So you denote your habit in the past tense by using used to. So these are some examples of models. I forgot to note here that slide about models, okay. This is also very important part of grammar, models. So, and in red color, I have denote here tenses. So I have not given more focus or types of sentence. You all of know what type of sentences are there. So, but my dear student, it is not quite sufficient to know the types of tenses, but you must know all those different type of structures used in different type of tenses, okay. How many structures are there? You must be aware about that. So mainly there are 12 structures, and the structures of tenses is changed in active voice, passive voice also, indirect, also, reported speech, etc., etc. There are so many structures, different type of structures, but I have given here red color to the tenses because this is the beginning of your learning English grammar. If you understand all kind of tenses properly, you are very able to learn any kind of grammar. It may be active voice, passive voice, it may be reported speech, it may be degree, or whatever, okay. So my dear students, if the concept of your tenses is still not clear, and this is not regarding the students who are appearing for the competitive examination also only, okay. Please remember, this is for all those students who are studying for the graduation, or this is the basic concept of grammar to learn tenses. So the concept or tenses must be clear. So until and unless the degree is completed and you don't know the different type of structures of tenses, okay. So for that, while learning tenses, you must know all type of structures also. What are the modal auxiliaries or helping verbs used in different type of structures of sentences, okay. So keep in mind that if until your concept of different type of sentences is not clear, So my dear students, please make this concept clear, first of all clear. If you are going to appear for the examination, or if you want to improve your speaking, listening, writing English, okay? So please focus upon tenses, okay? So this was about the grammar which may be appear for different type of competitive exam. So, and I tried to have a glance of it, because detail about all this type of grammars you can get it from any kind of grammar book, okay? And you have your Android mobile with you, and it is a sea of knowledge. YouTube is a sea of knowledge, and Google is a sea of knowledge. Within a click, you get thousands and thousands of videos regarding different type of learning English grammar and etc. But as someone assured that you will learn English in 30 days and 40 days, it is 30 days or 3 months, or it is not possible, my dear friends. You have to work hard. You have to practice for that. So, and so this was a glance of what kind of grammar is included in the different kind of competitive examination. So what type of questions may be appear for the different kind of examination? So that is a very important topic also. So you must understand the part of speech in detail for the sentence analysis, okay? So my first point is, let us focus upon these slides in detail, okay? You must understand part of speech in detail for the sentence analysis. While explaining the part of speech, I have already written upon it that sentence analysis, you must learn how to analyze the sentence. What type of noun, pronoun, or verb, adverb is appeared in the sentence. You have to analyze it. You have to learn how to analyze the sentence, and it will happen well when you will make your concept, when you will make your concept clear about part of speech, okay? Another is error detection. The sentence or the questions are asked in the competitive examination about error detection. The error is given already in the sentence. Error detection forms a subsection of the reading comprehension. Actually, it is based upon the reading comprehension, okay? It makes to able to identify sentences that can be corrected or need correction, okay? There are some mistakes appeared in the sentence, and you have to make the correction. Suppose it may be the question may be about article, question may be about models, question may be about conjunction, question may be about preposition, etc., etc. You have to find the error in that sentence, okay? The next is phrase replacement. It refers to the type of question in which a certain sentence is given and some part of it is highlighted, which is incorrect and need to be replaced. So it may be possible that some of your students who are listening me have already appeared some type of competitive examination. They must be aware of all these kind of questions also. So here certain sentence is given and some part of it, it is highlighted, okay, in that sentence, and which is incorrect. The highlighted part is incorrect in the sentence, and you have to replace it with the proper answer by the given option. 4 or 5 options are given, and you have to select the right option, okay? The next, suppose the 3 names have been reached the ministry. Here is an example of phrase replacement, okay? I have not written there, but I would like to read it out. The 3 names have been reached Ministry of Law and Justice, who has been processing the files, okay? So the main is the 3 names have reached the Ministry of Law and Sentence, and the underlined or focused part is who has been processing the files, okay? So there is some mistake in who has been processing the files, okay? So this is the bold letter, this is the wrong, something is wrong there, okay? So what kind of, there are 3 options, you have to replace it. if you try to guess, it will be better. First option is which is processing the file. Second option, who was processed the files. And number 3 is no replacement required. कुछ भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So there are two options, which is processing the files, who was processed the file. So my dear student, if we studied the sentence, the three names have reached the Ministry of Law and Justice. So who is used, but instead of for the non-living things we don't use who, we use which. Okay, so the bold part is replaced by which is processing the files. This kind of phrases are used, are wrongly given, or there is an error and you have to replace it. Okay, so let's talk about clause test. Okay, it is an exercise where students are provided passage that has been certain words missing from it, and students are expected to fill the blanks with the given right choice. Okay, so what is closet? Let me give one example. See dash dash at him astonishment. Okay, see dash at him astonishment. Okay, first option is stared, second is gazed, third is shot, and 4 is look. He managed to reach in time. The sentence is continued. See dash him astonishment. Okay, first is stared, gazed, shot, or looked. So the correct answer is gazed. These type of question are called as clause test. Okay, the correct answer, you have to choose the correct answer from the given answers to complete the blank. Okay, next is reading comprehension. My dear students, it is a very large or big topic, that is reading comprehension. So to develop reading, how to develop reading comprehension, I will explain it in the next slide. But all of you are aware about this reading comprehension, and you have already gone through this type of question. The passage is given, and based upon that passage, you have to give the answer of some questions. So why these reading comprehension is tested? To test the ability to understand the content of the passage. They want to test your comprehension. Okay, so that's why they give passage and ask some question based upon that passage. Next stage is word replacement. Sometimes in sentence, word is replaced by a filler word such as no, so, do, in order to avoid the repetition. Word replacement means the cow is an useful animal, and he is giving it is useful for us. It is useful for human being. Okay, so instead of repeating the word, we use one, so, do. Okay, to avoid all the repetition. So you have to select the word replacement. What type of word must be there for the proper word which must be replaced. Okay, the next is correction. Correction means what? Correction may be about spelling errors, punctuation, etc. Correction. So the given word may be wrongly spelled. Okay, there are so many words. They make you confuse. The examiner make you confuse to select the option of correct spelled word. Okay, so you have to you make the correction about that spelling, or it may be about punctuation marks also. Okay, then multiple meaning. So multiple meaning, or the questions are based upon multiple meaning, MCQ question. Okay, multiple choice questions are based upon this multiple meaning, are words or more than one meaning. Okay, the words containing more than one meaning, multiple meaning. The word carries multiple meaning. Suppose for example, he can't vote in the election as he is minor. Okay, here minor is the word, minor, M-I-N-O-R. Okay, multiple meaning, having multiple meaning. And the second example means, don't worry, it's only minor mistake. These are two sentences. Do you understand the difference, my dear friends? He can't vote in the election as he is minor. This is the first example. वो इलेक्शन में भाग हिस्सा नहीं ले सकता, वोट नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि वो अभी माइनर है, बिलो 18 है. ओके, एंड सेकंड सेंटेंस इज डोंट वरी, इट्स ओनली माइनर मिस्टेक. डोंट वरी, बहुत बड़ी गलती नहीं है, छोटी सी गलती. मीन्स माइनर, द वर्ड माइनर इज यूज्ड इन टू वेज. It has multiple, more than multiple meaning. Okay, then fill in the blanks. Filling the blanks, it is a very general question. You have already faced in different kind of exams also in your 10th, 12th or graduation or anywhere. Filling the blanks. So filling the blanks, it may be about tenses, using models, you did using auxiliary verbs, using conjunction, using preposition, using pronoun, etc., etc. Okay, so this is the list of some type of question. Okay, not the all type of question. I tried to include the whole list, so these type of questions may appear regarding English grammar in competitive examination. Okay, so this I thought that this is very important point. Then you would say that madam has told us about all detail about grammar, or we have already learned it. I am aware that you have already learned it and you can get this information from anywhere, but how to how there are some three steps regarding strategy for comprehension. Okay, first of all, to understand anything, any concept, my dear students, it may be about preposition, it may be about conjunction, it may be about noun, it may be about pronoun, any concept. Read out 3 or 4 lines until and unless you understand the concept. Or suppose we can take that the example of noun. Okay, what is mean by collective noun? Okay, you want to understand the concept of collective noun. Okay, and read out all the information about collective noun. Then am I audible to all students, no, sir? Make me sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Please continue.
Okay. So if you want to understand the concept of collective noun, so read out all the information. What do you mean by the meaning of collective noun, the examples of collective noun, then the use of all, where to use all these collective nouns, etc., etc. Read all the detail about that collective noun or preposition. Okay, then when you understand the concept, when you understand the term, then this is my way, this is my strategy, and I have already tried it when I was in college. Okay, and then then try to pretend that you are teaching that concept to someone, and I use this idea in my class also. I try first of all, I try to make the clear concept clear to the student, and if they I can't give assurity that everyone, each and every student understand the concept in the first lecture. Okay, sometimes what happen, what the teacher want to explain the students, they don't understand, but when their friend try to explain, or he explained the concept idea, they got it within time. Okay, within some time. So I have already implemented it in my class. And if you are when you are going to study for the competitive examination, of course you are going to have self study. Okay, at that time no one will be with you, or there will not be a class with you. Then at that time what you should do, when you understand that concept, that preposition, conjunction, whatever may be, you try to pretend that you are teaching to someone whatever you read. Okay, you try to explain in your word what you have read, what the concept, how much concept you have understood it. It is said that because it is said that one time teaching is two time learning. Do you agree with me? One time teaching is two time learning. When we teach someone, we have already learned it, okay, and we are again learning it. So please student, try this formula among your friends or by yourself also. First of all, understand the concept, then try to explain, try to teach as someone is in front of you. Okay, and the third is try to explain the whole topic, whatever you read from the beginning, and then write it down in your simple language. I know English, you may use wrong English, or you may not follow the proper structure of sentence construction. Okay, no problem, no problem. But try to explain the topic and try to write that topic in your own language. What you have understood, what you have learned, or what is the concept of that topic, you have to write it in your own language. So these are 3 steps. First of all, try to read out the concept, try to understand the concept again and again, until read it out again and again until and unless you understand it. Okay, then try to explain as someone is in front of you, as you are teaching someone one. Okay, then try to write the concept in your own words, whatever you have studied or whatever you have learned. Okay, these are, please my dear student, you can follow this concept not only regarding the English grammar, but regarding any subject, any topic. Okay, you please try this formula. You will definitely find the result. Okay, then this is the screen showing about the important topic or classification. I made this classification myself because as already I have divided this in this English language in 3 sections, that is grammar, vocabulary and comprehension. Okay, so there are some parts which you can score in English grammar. Okay, and there are some non-scoring topic in grammar. Okay, so what are the scoring topic in grammar? Spotting the errors. If you learn to find out the errors, you will get the definite marks, as it happens in the case of mathematics. Okay, if you give the correct answer, okay, no one can make your marks in negative or 0. Okay, if the question contains 4 marks, you will get the out of marks. Like that, spotting the errors, if you practice the these type of questions, spotting the errors, okay, you will get out of marks. Then conjunction, I already given you the list of conjunction. If you understand where which type of conjunction is used where, then if your concept of conjunction is clear, then you will get the definite mark. You will not get there 0. And it also in the case of preposition also. But my dear friends, it needs lot and lot of practice for the use of conjunction or for the use of preposition also. There are some questions based of fill in the blanks. Filling the blanks may be about models. It may be based upon tenses. Okay, so filling the blanks, if you choose the correct answer, then you will get definitely marks. Then sentence completion, that as we have already studied the type of sentences. Okay, so or clauses, principal or subordinate clauses, or sentences or negative sentence or exclamatory sentences. Okay, imperative sentences. So imperative or exclamatory sentences, if there are example or of exclamatory sentences, suppose we are talking about exclamatory sentences, that the sentence appear in the exam is exclamatory sentences. So we must understand exclamatory sentence, which exclamatory sentence should begin with what and which exclamatory sentence should begin with how. Okay, so then you will get you are able to select the proper answer. There are some non-scoring topic in grammar also, as jumbling word. You must know about this concept, jumbling word. Okay, why I have scored this list in non-scoring topic of grammar? Because it needs more and more hard work upon it. Okay, it doesn't happen, or you can't prepare this within some time. Okay, it takes so a long time to learn about this non-scoring topic in grammar. Okay, that is jumbling words. Comprehension means to understand something. So to develop comprehension, you need to develop the habit of reading. Within glance, you must read or you understand the concept. That's why the question based upon the paragraph you could give within time. Okay, there are passages in the examination, and if you have the habit of reading, okay, in one reading you could find the answer of the question, or otherwise you have to read the passage again and again and again. So it gets you have to give more time to that question. One word substitution. My dear friends, you are also aware about this type of question. One word substitution. The word is described and you have to give the proper word for that description. Okay, and it happened, it would you will give the proper answer only and only after learning or developing your vocabulary, learning the new words. Okay, you have to add 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 words daily in your word bank. Okay, then vocabulary. So it is also it also take very much time. You need to develop your vocabulary. Okay, then idioms and phrases. My dear friends, you have to learn daily at least 2 or 3 idioms and phrases. Okay, then that's why I have scored it in non-scoring topic in grammar. So I differentiate in scoring topic in grammar and non-scoring topic in grammar. So I have made it this classification, but time or practice makes man perfect, and it is said that you will be perfect in both the topics. I'm sure about that. Then, so the important point to prepare English for competitive exam. So we have the glance of these 3 topics. We have also detail about grammar. And so what should we do to learn grammar also? Learn the basic rule from grammar. My dear friends, you must have any grammar book, but if you don't have and you wish to face competitive examination after graduation or after post graduation, please do have at least one grammar book with you. Now Disha publication is the best grammar. It is available on Amazon also. Okay, please do have at least one grammar book with you. Then develop to maintain notes consisting on synonyms and antonyms, and that's also grammatical rules. You must develop your vocabulary, then you will able to choose the correct answer about synonyms and antonyms. Then sentence construction and practice them on a regular basis. Make group of your friend. Okay, try to express yourself in English. Try to make new sentences. Try to describe your daily routine in English. Okay, then try to any incident happened with you in English. That's why you will develop your sentence construction, and you have to practice for that. Then develop reading habit. Then how to develop your reading habit? You can read newspaper. University must have English, of course have English newspaper. Every college, in my college also, we have Hitwad as Indian Express as English newspaper, and every college, every institute, every educational institute have English newspaper. Please, my dear students, go through it daily. At least read out the high headings of that newspaper. So all those knowledge is for you. All those newspaper are available for you students, dear students. Okay. Try to make habit that you will read at least headline of those English newspaper. Okay. Then you will definitely develop your grammar. Do you find some similarity in the heading of newspaper? You will find that most of the headings are in passive voice. If you read it carefully, you must have find that most of the headings are in passive voice and they are in present tense. Though the incident happened, okay, though the event has happened yesterday, but those headings are in simple present tense. So if you read carefully, you will find this difference. Okay. Then what should you do to develop your vocabulary? To efficiently improve your vocabulary, you have to, as I have already told you, English newspaper regularly. And here, the students who are listening me, everyone has Android phone with him. Okay, that's why you are listening me. And make proper use of that mobile, Android mobile. Now, it no need to have dictionary with you in your pocket. Okay, to carry a book, Oxford dictionary with you. My dear friends, there are so many software of a dictionary available on Play Store, Google Play Store. Download English dictionary as well as Marathi English dictionary, English dictionary, where so many facilities are there. Even pronunciation, how to pronounce any word, it is also audible. Also, audible dictionaries are available also. So please, my dear students, make use of it. So make proper use of mobile. So while as Gondwana University has given me this opportunity to interact with students, so but at this moment, I would like to tell you that please, my dear students, make the proper use of this mobile, this machine. Okay, it may is helpful. Of course, it is helpful. It is knowledgeable. It is very. We can say that it is a gift for us in the 21st century. But make proper use of that gift and make use to develop your knowledge. Okay. So dictionary is available. So you must have English Marathi dictionary in your mobile. You must have English dictionary in your mobile. Okay, that's why you could able to search it out when you are using. It happens with me also now also, that I don't know the meaning of that English word when I use Hitwad. I used to read Hitwad. When I don't understand some words, then I have to use dictionary from my which is in my mobile, and I use it. I don't means I am frankly speaking to you that I use this dictionary, and it adds daily. It adds some words in my word bank. So make habit of it that read English newspaper and have mobile with you. And if you don't understand any word, you can find the meaning of that word immediately in your mobile. Okay. So then read novels also. Try to read novels, and it no need to have to buy some need novels. There are so many PDF available on websites, and you can download in your mobile also. And if you get time, you try to read those novels also. Then try to use new words. If you find some new words while reading novel or while reading English newspaper, try to use those new words with your friends. Okay. Then other option is as you know that if you want to learn any English language, you must be a good listener. Okay. And to listen, to watch, to listen proper English, then you can watch English movies also. Okay. So all these clues or all these things will help to increase or to develop your vocabulary. Okay, and the last one is for comprehension. What should you do for the comprehension? So comprehension means, as I have already discussed, that the passage is given in the examination, and they ask some question based upon that passage, and within few minutes you have to read that passage, and in one reading you must find out the answer of that, at least one question. 1 minute for one question. Okay, so when will it happen? If you have the habit of reading, and if you have the habit of reading, you will be good, your vocabulary must be good, and your vocabulary is good, then you will find out the meaning of that passage very easily. Okay, to practice regularly to get conceptual clarity and to use language grammatically and appropriately. So this is the glance about how to prepare English for competitive exams regarding grammar, regarding vocabulary, and for comprehension. I hope, my dear students, you must have get some new knowledge from my lecture, and I have glanced about the part of speech or basic grammar, what type of questions maybe appear for the exam, and in different kind of exams, and how should we develop or how do we gain more knowledge regarding grammar, vocabulary, and for comprehension, and what should we do to learn grammar or to develop vocabulary or to develop our comprehension. Okay, thank you. Gondwana University Department of English has given me opportunity to interact with all those students, to provide me opportunity. I am very thankful to you. Thank you all the stakeholders, all the organizing committee. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful, ma'am. You have tried to cover almost all the aspects of grammar, whichever are there suitable for competitive exams. Now it's time for questions and answers.
Okay.
So we have received certain questions from the students. I will read one after another.
Sir, how can I close this PPT?
Yeah, see on the top, they will be on the top, okay? Stop sharing. Is it there? Could you see that? Yeah, you have done it well.
Okay.
Now it's time for question answer. So I will read out the questions.
No problem.
I don't know exactly how many questions are there with, but one, let me search in the box. Yeah, so the first question which has been there with is it compulsory to have command or grammar when it comes to speaking? The guy has asked very crucial.
This question is generally asked by the students. No, actually, language. If we are using English as a language, okay, it's no need to learn or to have command on on grammar, because language, any language, not only English or language is used to express our feeling, to express our thought, and if the message is given by you or whatever you want to say, the to whom you want to say, the person is is able to understand, then there is no need to have command on grammar. Think about the child. When child in his childhood, he don't know the grammar, because he say he to some her, means he calls he to a girl, or he calls he to a girl and she to a boys. Okay, after that, after some time, her mother make correction in his grammar. Okay, so there is no need to have command over grammar, but try to have if you want to wish to have command over English, okay, then you need to have learn proper English grammar.
Okay. I will read the second question now. Yeah, the guy from, yeah, he has written like, how is it the journey like? Grammar comes first or language comes first in the journey towards learning this entire?
Of course, language comes first. According to me, of course, language comes first, then grammar.
Then slowly, I think somebody will be able to grasp the grammar. Yeah, the third question, which has been, I think, the repeated one, how to tackle the question, the obstacle of vocabulary, okay?
Vocabulary.
He has not
Uh,
specified which kind of obstacle it is, but
mhm.
obstacle of
Right.
vocabulary.
The question is something confusing some, but the student wants to ask about the vocabulary. So, my dear students, I would like to say that if you want to develop your vocabulary, it doesn't happen in 1 year or 1 day or 1 week. Okay, it needs more time and it needs continuity. Try to continuously read newspapers, try to read out different kind of books, try to read out news on screen. Okay, so definitely you will develop your vocabulary.
Yeah, and the last question is there with ma'am. She has written like how to get over the problem of hesitation in conversation.
Conversation. Okay. I would like to suggest here, my dear students, don't get hesitant, because no one is expert. Until I would say that I am not an expert also. Okay, no one is expert. Don't get hesitate. You have to express yourself. Okay, the person to whom you are talking is another expert one. Don't get hesitate. Whatever you have to try. First of all, you may wrong. In second attempt you may wrong, but in third attempt, if you make practice of that, you will get correct sentence structures. For that, you have to practice about the sentence structures. Okay, first of all, because the sentence structure in your mother tongue, whatever you learn, okay, and sentence structure in English, that is very different. Okay, in Marathi, subject is followed by object, but in English, subject must be followed by verb, then object. Yes, VO, and in Marathi, yes, OV. If you try to practice this kind of sentences, slowly you will get command upon all type of structures. Okay, then you will not lose your confidence, you don't get hesitate, and try to learn different kind of structures. Okay, if you want to have command upon English.
Yeah. So thank you so much, ma'am. All the questions have been answered well. Hopefully the students will have been satisfied by you. So moving ahead now, it's time for having vote of thanks expressed towards you. So at the outset, I would thank you on behalf of the entire organizing committee for sparing your valuable time with us and having shared your thoughts on this specialized topic, which is concerned to the students once after his education is over. So for that, we thank you all. Thank you so much. And the technical team also, which has been striving very hard to provide assistance to us to, engage the session online very technically sound. For them also, we are thanking. Also to the students as well as participants from neighboring colleges or affiliated colleges of the university. So for them also, I, on behalf of the entire committee for organization of this NOA series, thank. Okay. So at last, those who are directly and indirectly concerned with us in making this series of lectures or sessions successful, I thank to them as well. Okay. And with this, with the promise that we will be back once again on next day or the one after another day with new topic along with new resource person, and we will let you know, guys. So be with us, and thank you so much, ma'am, once again, and thank you all of you.
Thank you.
With this, I conclude this session for today. Thank you all.